video. Okay,
Wait,
so. That's a nice problem. That's a nice problem to have. Yeah.
Could you ask me?
Yeah. Let me ask him a question on that. On number 3. Okay.
What are asylum seekers?
Okay. Asylum seekers are those that like. You know what they are? All right. Throw there, and then we'll come back to you. All right.
No,
actually,
that wasn't mine.
Go ahead and read the question. Okay, go ahead and read the question.
Who are refugees and asylum seekers, and how, thank you, and how can we protect their human rights? I don't know if I'm right, but are asylum seekers the people who, like, you know, the buildings where they give medicine and they like cut and like
Yes,
they
yeah.
give food and like you can sleep there and like is that and like
Yeah,
shelter
you're.
seekers?
Yes, that's a shelter is another word for an asylum. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So and then refugees are people who are fleeing from like dangers, like they have nowhere else to go, so they need to go somewhere safer for them, probably their family too.
And think about what they taught you in elementary school in America. Now, sometimes when they teach you in elementary school, they kind of teach you, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, the kind of Disney version. They're never going to tell you the bad stuff. They're always going to tell you the good stuff. So what do they say America is? Is America a place where people come to when you're in trouble?
No. Well, the way I learned it was like it was a place where we could be free. They never like talked about other people coming here for like safety. They never talked about other people being in danger and having to come here because they were like gonna die or like they were or like gangs were coming after them. They thought of it as more of like a place for freedom and America and like we've conquered all this. That's
Look at all these hands.
So like Kate said, like they never really taught us why they were coming here. They only taught us that they were bringing. Mostly at least I heard from like other on news, never my parents because not like that. But I always heard that if someone comes here, it's mostly I think it's what you said earlier. It's mostly be like to bring danger or anything or drugs, and that's the only reason that they want to come here. And they never really teach you that it's because their life is in like really bad, is in a really bad place, and where they're living is a really bad place, and they might not be able to survive, and they might have families and everything that they want to live for. So, yeah.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Chris.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah.
All right. I agree with what Kate said on how we Disneyland it, kind of, on what we're teaching. We don't know the struggle that the refugees or the immigrants took to get here, and we were taught that basically everything is great in America and that we're all free here and then nothing bad goes on here, and that it's just this ideal country, basically. But we don't know we weren't taught what was outside of our ideal country and the experiences of these refugees and immigrants had to go through.
Oh, excellent. Excellent, Phil.
Jackpot.
I saw some hands.
Like
Nice
they were
catch.
saying how they didn't know that what immigrants go through. The news just they get the stuff from the news, but like the news doesn't put everything. They just they put what they want the people to see. Like stuff happens in the United States too, but we don't know that because like we do know that, but we don't know it. Like it goes on the low, but they don't put it on the news because they don't want us to know. So like basically every country is dangerous, others are just dangerous, and then they're coming here because it's like safer, but they're like the same thing. So they're coming because when people come here from like other countries, they come here to like suffer because all they do is work. They do the same thing. They work and then sleep, eat, and then again sleep, work, eat, then same over and over. And it's like, I mean, they're safer, but like it's just they came to suffer to make money because like immigrants, they don't have papers, right? So they get the hardest jobs, and then, I mean, white people, like, they say that we took their jobs, but like white people don't want to do those jobs because they're hard. So like.
Not only hard, but it's what they pay.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I don't know if they, like, I'm generalizing, but they might work hard. People are going to work hard. You're going to work hard for, and $3 an hour?
Yeah.
$2 an hour?
No. And it's like they can't, mostly immigrants, they have big families, and then they can't support their families with that amount of money. It's like they save, but they are suffering still.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Bueno, con ese comentario que hizo ella, yo tengo algo que decir, digamos, que es que de verdad eso está pasando mucho, digamos, aquí en Estados Unidos, porque las personas, como ustedes pueden ver, siempre las personas, los mexicanos o los latinos son los que llegan y hacen los trabajos más duros, como construcción. Yo no he visto.
He's talking about like, it is like, that he's bouncing off what Jenna was saying. And that it is, he sees it's the Latinos who are working, and he's specifically going like the construction jobs, the really hard jobs. They're the ones who are doing it.
Sí, porque pasa eso, digamos, que los demás, como ellos no tienen papeles, la mayoría de gente, yo he visto muchos programas, me gusta ver muchos documentales sobre eso, de las personas de México, que la mayoría de personas que son inmigrantes y vienen y no tienen papeles son porque ellos buscan una mejor vida, ¿entienden? Porque tal vez tienen, como le digo, tal vez tienen, como ella dice, tienen muchas familias, entonces que se venga uno, que se vengan dos, tal vez dos tratan de venirse y tal vez solo uno lo logra. Y entonces esa persona tiene que dar la cara para mantener a la otra familia.
He's describing what Brenda was talking about, is that, you know, he's been watching a lot of this is coming from watching documentaries and things where families will send, maybe it's like a gamble, they'll send a couple of relatives over, hoping that at least one comes through and is able to make money enough to send back to the place where they're coming from. Okay. Thank you. Gracias. Oh, sorry.
I feel like the news kind of child-proofs it because they only know what they hear or what they've been told. And I honestly don't think that you know what happens unless you've been through it yourself.
Yeah, that's, you know, I want to point out that the people who own ABC, NBC, ESPN, and a lot of those channels is actually Disney. They actually own those news channels. So I made it as a joke, is that they're doing Disney, but it's actually the truth. They own those. That kind of explains what you're saying. They do childproof it.
Like the news, like they cover a lot of stuff up, and like you don't really get to hear like what actually happens, and this is like first person, like you actually hear it from someone that actually went through it.
Oh, excellent. Coming around.
A small thing to add about the news is like when we were watching the video on the refugees in hiding and like everybody trying to cross the border, the guy who did the news show, it was so bad over there. He got used to just showing the dead bodies that just were on the streets, and that like he was very, very honest about everything that was going on, and he was always like there in person. He wasn't sitting in a chair like in a room, like he was there in person. He was describing the scene. He was showing what was going on. Like
You don't see that much in our news
no,
anymore.
we don't.
To go back on how they childproof the news, they never really tell children or people our age what's really going on, and I don't really like that because we are our next their next generation, and we are what's going to help these problems and everything, but we don't know that because they never tell us anything, and they think that because we're children, our minds won't understand it, but because what's going on right now, our minds do, and sometimes that's not the best because just because we're so young, or because we're young, we shouldn't really be dealing with that, like the same back and where these people are coming from. Like they're fleeing because they don't want to live in that area. Like they don't want to go walking on the street to like their grocery store or wherever they're going and see just like a dead body on the ground, or see someone getting hurt, or just see people who aren't in the best shape. And so that's kind of why they really need to open up about what's really going on, because we are the next generation who's going to help it.
And I feel like this is kind of like slang, but I feel like we're the most woke generation. I mean, it's true. Like, it's like, because even though we're young, it's like people are still trying to hide this information, but we still find it. Like, we understand what's going on because of the state of, like, the world and, like, all the refugees, and, like, because it's important to today, we need to understand it, but I feel like people don't want us to understand it, but we need to, because like Grace said, because we are the future. Like,
I like that you use the word woke, because that means not only awake but politically aware.
yeah, we're woke.
And like for America to be the country where we have freedom of the media and the press, it's kind of like sad that they feel like they have to hide us from the exposure of like real life situations that's going on, when we can like help them or send money to programs to help them if they feel like immigrants are a problem, then why can't they help deal with it in their own country?
Very good. All right. And we'll say final comment, because looking at.
Okay. What I originally raised my hand for was
Did you want to say it?
Kind
you can.
of.
We'll make you the final.
Kind of relating back to like how refugees are treated once they reach America. I feel like that kind of shows how bad it is where they came from, that they'd risk their lives to come to something that's still, it's not equally as horrible, but it's still horrible that they're being underpaid, they're working too hard. And I feel like it just kind of shows how important it is to like care for refugees, because if they knew what it was like here in America, but they still chose to try, like Enrique, to come over, then I feel like we kind of need to pay attention to that, because that just shows it's really bad there.
Very good.
I was just gonna say that it's to the point where like we can't trust the news anymore, because there was a conspiracy theory that the news sometimes makes like stories up just to distract others from what's actually happening, and then that the government hides like deep stuff like stuff, and then if you try to figure out what's actually happening, like they can come after you. I mean, they're all theories, but they could be true. It's just like we don't know if it's true or not, and some people are just scared to actually find out if it's like. So basically, you just have to find out yourself, and it could be dangerous.
Give them a hand.